Ready? Wow. Good afternoon. I'm not going to pay attention to this. Good afternoon, Facebook. How are you guys doing today? We are here still in the Virgin Islands, Facebook and YouTube. We are here in the USVI. Take this down too because of the echo, right? And then put we don't have the right. Go back and do it. Hey Facebook, hey YouTube, we are live here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We are at Evolution's Bar and Grill. We are at Evolution's Bar and Grill, where we will be coming live with you tomorrow, Sunday, October the 15th, at 3 p.m. here, right here at Evolution's Bar and Grill, as we wrap up our tour of the United States Virgin Islands, as we bring to the Virgin Islands MWF Financial Wealth Membership to the business opportunity. I'm here with my business partner, Mr. Brian Woods, Power Move 06.
Hey, how y'all doing out there today, man? It is an awesome opportunity for us to be out in the Virgin Islands. And hey, we're gonna bring to you what we learned since we've been going around for the last, how many days, how many different parties you had?
We had 6 parties so far.
6 parties, yeah. So one of the biggest things that we learned was the biggest issues that we've been seeing going around is families stop living paycheck to paycheck and start to create generational wealth. Because what we've been noticing around is a lot of people been letting their land get took away from them because they didn't understand the difference between having stuff in place so they do not get it took away from them. So what's been happening, a lot of people working 40, 50 years and they've been owning houses, they've been owning property, they've been owning different things, but they didn't have the stuff in place. So we're going to talk about some of the things that people need to put in place in order for them to stop living paycheck to paycheck and secure generational wealth. So go at this time and tune in, whoever you want to tune in, we'll give you another like 2 minutes. Hey, send out them last requests, because this cash flow conversation is going to be a great conversation everybody needs to hear. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let people tune in and go get right off this conversation in about 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and sound my last minute text as well.
Hey, we do not own the right to any of this music. Do we even condone any of it? All right. So we have nothing to do with that at all.
Did you post it in the chat?
Yeah, put it in the chat. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good spirit. She has a good spirit.
You think that was enough time?
I think it was more than enough time. I really would love to.
Hey guys, we are back. Still, you can still go ahead and share this Zoom or this live that you're watching. Go ahead and invite your friends out, family out, because this information is what you want to hear, guys. You want to be able to know this information so that you can make an educated decision when it comes down to your finances. Because it is not that you cannot become wealthy. Is a lot of times that you don't have the information. We have been missing the information because for the longest, most of us been given one set of information when there's a whole nother set of information out there that actually helps people to create and sustain wealth.
Hey, and I agree with you, Verna. And the biggest thing is a lot of this information was not taught in school. So what we're gonna do today, we're not gonna play games. We're gonna go dive deep right into what's really going on. So one of the main things that we notice is a lot of people will start only thinking about working at 40 for 40. But the actual working 40 hours for 40 years for 40% of their pay is obsolete.
Correct.
Most people need more time than that to be able to handle the actual bills that they have right now, especially with the cost of the living going up, right? A lot of people not putting money in places where they can outpace inflation.
Correct.
So the biggest thing is this. If you were struggling at the height of having 100% of your actual pay, what makes you think that you're going to be able to, sustain with 40% of your pay?
I don't get that. To me, make sense.
Exactly. So to caveat on that 40% of pay, even Social Security is not going to be enough once you get to the Social Security age, because think about it. You're only getting a percentage of what you work for with Social Security. So the solution is this. If you was to retire after 40 years, whatever, that's 40%, right? Even if you get Social Security, let's say Social Security is maybe 10, maybe Social Security is about, let's say maybe 15%, give or take. Some might be a little bit, let's even give it a whole 20. you're still 40% behind, 40-50% behind. Plus, you want to add some more inflation. So, what did we find out? What's the best thing for people to do if they're going to be short? They're going to be short. What do they need to start now if they want to create having a good lifestyle once they retire?
Right now, you need to make sure you're putting your money somewhere. The money that you are working for right now, you need to take some of that money and invest it in some place where your money is going to be able to outpace inflation and get you back money working for you. That's the thing. A lot of times we want to work for our money and put the money that we work for in some place that still ain't working for it. You have to realize that your money works for you, not you work for your money.
Exactly. Now that right there hits different. So now I'm gonna tell you the difference between people working those 40 years for 40 hours, only get 40% versus money. People get tired. People get sick. People get weary. But you know what doesn't get tired, sick, or weary? Money. Exactly. Because see, money is a tool that you use in order for you to get in the position to have time freedom. Okay? All right. So now that we gave you the insight of the first thing you need to do, let's give you some examples of things that you can do to stop, solutions that can stop and combat the 4 things that stop you from becoming wealthy. So what are the 4 things that stop people that are hurting you right now? Not even just wealth-wise, just in general, as far as finance-wise, what's hurting them?
First of all, first thing is those taxes, especially those federal taxes, because those takes the first 1/3 of your income away from you. And what you don't realize is because that comes straight off the top, it puts you in a position where you are now, you don't have to go fill in for that. Remember, if you got a job and you're making $80,000 a year, that's what they said that you're making.
Yes.
You're not bringing home $80,000 a year because the first 1/3 of that is gone to federal taxes. So really and truly, you're only bringing home about 65.
Exactly. So think about this. Once you done capitalize on being able to lower your actual taxes, right? There's a second thing that's stopping you becoming wealthy. Debt. Debt is the second 1/3 that's stopping you becoming wealthy. Think about it. How many times have people bought something in advance for something that they cannot afford? Meaning a car, meaning they pay for education that they can't afford, student loans. Meaning some people even go get loans just to, to rent a place. Why go pay for something that you can't afford in advance unless it's going to make you some more money? So if you was able to lower your debt, you would have more money to have more time for you and be able to put back a next egg for the time when you can't make that 100% of pay, right?
That's correct. Another thing that is stopping you from creating wealth is your credit score. Your credit score being low, that debt that you got into now is making you pay even more for that money that you borrowed. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you can't afford to get everything upfront cash-wise. So you go and you borrow it. But why borrow it and pay 3 times, 4 times how much you would have actually paid for it just because you have a low credit score?
Exactly. But this is the thing. This is the biggest thing that you gotta look at is this. So we said it was 4 things. We actually talked about 2. And then we talk about some solutions that could probably we know that it can back us. All right. So think about this, right? Now, how can we combat big business? Like, let's just be honest. How can we combat big business? Every single month of the year, almost, we have somebody spending on a holiday. Like right now, in the month of October, this is $1 trillion one-day event. $1 trillion one-day event. And it starts as early as September?
Yeah.
They start putting candy and costumes on the shelf in September just to make that event on the 31st of November one of the most biggest events in the world.
Correct.
But the list goes on. I'm just talking about one. You got Thanksgiving coming up. You got Christmas. And it keeps going on and on and on. Do you realize how much people feelings and emotions feed into not being able to actually buy something on those holidays? But in reality, guess what? You can have a better lifestyle without having to worry about those actual dates that we're talking about. So think about it. How would you outpace big business? Well, how would you combat against big business?
I was thinking about a lot of those holidays and what they really mean to me and my family, because a lot of it is, like we said, it is something that was society has deemed important by the commercials you watch, and those things they advertise to suck you in.
Exactly.
So that you'll be able, so that you would want to participate in those big events when you don't have to, or you don't need to.
Exactly. So when y'all get caught up in the big business frenzy, it's all on you. So what if you can't buy major big gifts on Christmas? So what if you can't, pass out candy every year? So what if some of the holidays you don't participate in? Guess what? You can, the same monies that you were putting into all these holidays, you can take that money and put it aside for your future and the stuff that you could be doing in your actual lifestyle in the future. Because we're not knocking people that when they do this, but we're looking at the bigger picture. One day you're not going to be making funds at the height of your career like you're making now. You're going to have to walk away and have a nest egg so you can be able to sustain a long life that you're going to have. So the last thing we was talking about was what? You want to
the expenses. Expenses has to be lowered. A lot of us get into expenses. We have to have the cable bill. We have to have the internet. We need satellite XM radio in our car. We want to have the car insurance. Sometimes some of our expenses we have no choice but to have. But what about being able to lower those expenses?
I would love to lower those expenses, because if I lower those expenses, that means I will have more funds coming back into my actual, pocket, and I can take that and start to be able to have a true emergency fund. I can be able to start to save towards a home that I truly want to buy one day. A lot of different things, or put money aside to give my kid a good graduation gift. Who doesn't love a little extra change on the side? After they did something awesome and amazing in their life.
And the thing is, Brian, a lot of times we watch movies where people, these families that graduate and their kids got a car, or they give them a house at the wedding, or they different things that they give them for their weddings or anniversaries or whatever. Most people don't get to do that. That usually comes from wealthier people. Wealthy people would give their kids a house as their wedding, give them a graduation present as a car or a full ride payment of their college tuition. But that is because they planned that out. Not because they had the money, it was a part of the wealth building plan that they had all along. They were planning for the future. And that's what we need to start being able to do, is plan for the future.
Yeah, exactly. So think about this. Now, we talked about debt. We talked about taxes. We talked about debt. We talked about big business. But how can we outpace inflation?
Now that part is where you put your money at, so that it will outpace. The banks is okay. Okay.
You thought about it.
The banks are place. It's great if you put money away. But think about this, guy, Brian. Where is the banks putting our money?
You really want me to answer that?
I think the people need to know.
Hey, so check this out. Did you know when you first signed your actual account for your checking and your savings, you gave the actual bank the right to invest your money? But you know what's so funny about it? They don't even give you 1% of the actual investment when they invest your money. They don't even give you 1% back at the end of the year for your actual checking and saving account. Now, I don't know about you, but if I knew that they were giving loans for cars, homes, student loans, and business loans on my money, and they're not giving me a better cut than 1%, man, I'm gonna park my money somewhere else. They actually call it arbitration or arbitrate, however you want to call it. You can look it up. They've been doing it ever since the beginning of time because it's part of the system that controls your money. But wouldn't it be nice to cut out the middleman and become your own bank? So think about it. If you became your own bank, now you'll be able to get the actual benefits that the actual regular banks are doing. So what I like about it so much is this, right? That it's easy. The same way your money get direct deposit to the bank, your money can get straight up drafted and go to your bank. How about that? It gives no time for the foolishness to be going on with your money at all. The only thing you should be keeping inside your account is capital to pay your working bills. And you know, I'm not telling you how to run your actual lifestyle, but I'm telling you some facts on what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this across the board. And I'm not talking from, I just realized this. I've been watching this for the last 4 years. And I'm telling you right now, if you shift these 4 things alone, you can start to see more increase in your family. Now, this is the reason why a family get mad when it comes to, you know, talking about money and talking about generational wealth, because they know their money funny, and so they start to learn this private information that we're doing all around the world. We're actually in Virgin Islands right now. We went to every island and we're talking about this information. So what is your take once you complete all those 4 things? What are some of the solutions that with this opportunity that you're going to be talking about, or something? What are some things you're going to be talking about?
Okay, so basically some of the things we'll be talking about, those 4 things, first of all, making people understand that that is the reason why you're not creating generational wealth. But once you realize and you start coming back in those things, we're going to put your money in places like a diversified cash flow account or a private reserve account. Just like Mr. Wood said, that is where your money is now being able to outpace inflation, guys. You are cutting the middleman out, and you're becoming your bank. So just like how the banks are putting your money in these places, instead of them putting your money in these places, you put your money in these places.
Exactly.
Then we understand that there's also places like land banking.
Exactly. So think about this. Now, I know a lot of people always, you know, was taught that, you know, put your money in the banks, you know, save some money for a rainy day, and, you know, make a lot of money in it, make a lot of money, everything's gonna be good. But that's not necessarily true. That's what we found out. Some people think that, hey, if I only had good credit, you know, that would be a good thing. But truth be told, you need to have the best of both all worlds, because, you know, they say cash is king, but credit rules the kingdom. But in actuality, hey, it's a marriage. There's a marriage going on. And I'm gonna tell you what, one of the biggest things that we learned also family-wise, and even, you know, like having a husband and wife or whatever the case may be, is some people would say that, man, cheating is one of the biggest things that's stopping people from getting divorced. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not cheating. Their finances is the biggest thing that's stopping having people have the highest divorce rate in the world, because their finances are jacked up. When I say they, you can't come into a situation think that, okay, this guy, he has a lot of money, he has good credit, I'm gonna be good. Think about this. What happens when that guy credit goes down? What happens when the money gets low? But you're a person, you're being mediocre, you don't have good credit, right? And you will sit at home, you know, dad or mom or whatever. No, you need to be able to get into it and start to have good spending power both ways. So this is one of the solutions that's going to help have good positive marriages and good positive relationships between mothers and fathers, fathers and daughters, and so on. So I'm telling you right now, this opportunity that we're talking about, just the knowledge wise alone, will take you to another level that you've never been to financially, because this is private information, but it's no longer private because we go around and all of our actual team members and we talk about this. Now, think about this. On our platform with the Cashflow Round Table, we talk about everything that goes on financially in the world. We just don't hold it to the, and we bring different professionals on to talk about real life issues that's going on and stopping family from creating generational wealth. And this is one proven platform that we know hands down that they will make sure that you increase, multiply, and create more income than you were before when just working at 40 years, 40 hours for 40 years and only getting 40% of your pay once you retire. All right. So think about this. In closing, to cap this off, what are some of the things in that you've learned since you've been working with this opportunity that's going to help people come back to get better financially? What are some of the things?
First of all, like we said before, take control of your finances. A lot of us don't even look at our finances just because we don't have enough. We feel like we don't need to look at it. But that's exactly why you need to look at it, because you need to know where you're spending your money and if where you're spending your money is necessary to spend on, first of all. And then once you find out where you can get back some of your money from, then you need to start putting that money in places where that money will grow. It will bring you back more money. Because that's the key. You have to be able to bring money, needs to go out. Like you said, it's a tool.
Yes.
So it's supposed to go out and bring back more of itself.
Exactly. And the thing is this right here. The first thing is changing your mindset. Because I know so many of y'all caught up in that work for what you want. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's different type of work as you get more mature into understanding how the monetary system works. Now, I can tell you this, I'm not going to get into this conversation deep, but I can tell you that there's been being a money game played on every single person that's living right now. Even the wealthy people, if they didn't understand these actual principles that we're talking about, they would tell you themselves that they've been getting played. And I can tell you what, it started way back in 1912 and it got enacted in 1913. And I don't want to get too deep, but I'm just going to give a caveat.
Okay.
Hey, just go and check out the Creatures of Jekyll Island, right? And just to give you a short snip of the story is this. In 1912, is when some of the most powerful, elite, wealthy people went down in secrecy to Jekyll Island, Georgia, right? They went on a train cart down to Jekyll Island, Georgia, blindfolded so they could not know where they were going. In secrecy on Jekyll Island, they signed basically like a petition to be able to start the Federal Reserve, all right? So think about this. How many of your family members right now have been born in 1913 that is living right now?
None.
I'll wait. And I always bring it up because of this. But I don't want to go too deep into it. But if you want to know more about the story, hey, at a different time, I'll do the timeline. But that's how it started. None of us were born when they started the monetary system. The monetary system was set up to keep people working for 40 hours, 40 years. I'm talking about for 40% of your pay for the rest of your life. I don't know about you, 40 years, and I'm only getting 40% of my pay. Miss me with that. But on average, the average person works the ages of 15 to 65. That's 50 years of your life. Now you're 65 years old and you're trying to figure out how am I going to be able to maintain the lifestyle that I like because I didn't understand what the wealthy been doing. What they've been doing is they've been taking money and taking money and investing it in an asset to make some more cash. That's why I say your number one asset is yourself. So, Ms. Verna, could you elaborate a little bit more on how this thing works and how they can take it to a whole nother level?
I wanted to expand on what you just said about taking some money and put it into an asset. You see, most people have been trained to become workers, so we feel like we have to put the money into something that we gotta work. But what we don't understand is you need to put the money someplace where the money is going to work, not you. Because you're gonna have a point in time where your body, your physicalness is not gonna wanna work no more. Where your mentalness is not gonna wanna work anymore. So you need to be putting the money to work, because guess what? That money don't get tired.
Don't get tired.
That money don't get sick.
Don't get sick.
That money don't complain.
Don't complain at all.
And they're gonna do exactly what you tell it to do.
Exactly. Because see, that's the thing. When you understand, when you use the right tools and go out and do work for you, work is going to be easier. Now, see, this is the thing. Think about this. Most people started in the workforce as early as they could get a job to make money. Now, I don't know about you, but for my history, when I look back at the work history, right, I started working at the age of 15 on the books. On the books, I was working out on a farm in South Carolina. I used to crop tobacco, okay? I don't know if you know anything about cropping tobacco, but that is serious, hard work. But I was young. I wanted money so I could, buy school clothes and buy J's and all the other kind of stuff that kids like to buy. So that helped, my mother, have to spend less. And that was good. I felt my manhood starting that early. But this is the wildest thing what I want to tell y'all. By the age of 35, I had done work 20 years. 20 years of my life. And I could not see him from working from the age of 15 all the way to 20. I couldn't see how that money added up. But what I learned was this. What I did in my first 20 years of working, I couldn't do that into my next 20 years of working because my body would not be able to stand all of that hard manual labor. Now, don't get me wrong. Over the years, my stuff changed. I got different jobs and stuff like that. And, I even had a career or whatnot like that. I got, I retired from the career or whatever, like 2 years ago. But what I'm saying is I gave them the best of my years, but I had to wake up to position that money to start to work for me. I'm the number one asset, not the job that I done made millions for, not the guy that I used to work out on the farm for. This guy, I don't even know where he's at right now, but I know one thing, it's about me. It's about you, the individual that wants to be able to walk away from whatever you're doing with your head held high and not being in pain and sick. You know what I mean? You not want to do that. You know what I mean? So, Ms. Verna, what is your take on it?
All I know is since I've gotten this information, I've got around this group of people, this community, and that's the thing, we've gotten away from communities now. I remember when they had a saying where it takes a village to raise a kid. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It literally, that's exactly what happens. And somehow, somewhere, somebody put in some people's head, mind your business.
Okay.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay.
And so people don't want advice where the people who've been getting wealthy, that's what they do. They gather their circle. They gather their circle and they pass information along to each other. So if you're not in a circle with people gathering information and rubbing shoulders with people who's going to show you and tell you how to come about doing things the right way, yeah, you're not going to be getting the right information. So you can't create your wealth. So position yourself around people who are willing to share with you what they're doing, especially if what they're doing is taking them to the next level.
I totally agree. I agree so much to the fact, like, hey, I always tell people, man, I got me a basketball team, you know what I mean? I got 5 kids. the biggest thing that I like about, talking about this and sharing wealth tips and talking about the round table at the round table is I want to spend as much time as I can spend with my kids. That is real wealth to me.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But in order for me to do that, I need to still be able to have monies coming in for my future lifestyle so I can do that and enjoy it, So just like I said, most people out here right now that's viewing this right now, they don't have an actual income problem. They got a cash flow problem.
Correct.
And what we do is we help open their eyes to see that you are more than just punching a 9-to-5.
Correct.
You are more than just doing a career and then, hey, once it's in, they used to give a gold watch. They don't have you to gold watch no more. They give you whatever, whatever in your package or whatever, and that's it. So the biggest thing what I like about it is this gives people new life, and this brings back the whole, it takes a community to, run. I mean, it takes a whole village to run a family, and it's true. If a community and a village is more together or uplifting with wealth and make sure that they're talking about how each other can, retire and still live a good lifestyle, this will help bridge the gap on the foolishness that's happening out in the streets right now.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. So that's what we said. Get yourself around positive people who are willing to share information with you, who are willing to help pull you up, not just keep you down, but you also have to be receptive.
Exactly.
That is the key. Ain't so much so being around the people, it's about you being receptive to the information that you're receiving. Because I can be around the positive information all I want, but if I don't receive it, I'm gonna be in the same place. And then the other thing, not only receiving it, implementing that information.
You said the key word, implement, apply. I don't care how you want to. Don't take information lightly that I'm going to tell you the biggest thing is funny, but not funny. There's a lot of people right now hurting financially in desperation, crying in the dark because they're afraid to say that I need help financially. And they do this because they feel like they're pride and they're not up to par with their actual peers. But a lot of their peers are struggling financially too. And then some of their peers have the answers to help them take it to a whole nother level that they don't have to struggle again. You know what I mean? So that's one of those things that you really want to look at, especially going online.
Because what I found is not that people don't want to give you the information. Sometimes they feel like you're not ready to receive the information, so then they don't pass it on to you. But the minute you open your mouth, like you like to say, closed mouth don't get fed.
I'm telling you, closed mouth do not get fed.
So if you open up your mouth and let people know where you are, and even in the word it says that. The word says, ask and you shall receive. So if you don't ask and you will receive nothing.
Okay, exactly.
So get yourself around positive people. And we are a movement. We're willing to open up our arms to you guys and anybody who is willing to receive and get the right information finally, because this information is still being passed out there. This public information, it is still being passed around. But if you're not going to put yourself in the right position to receive the private information, you're going to continue to get that public information. And it's so much, you think that that information is so right because so many people is doing it that way.
So I'm going to tell y'all this. I learned two strong other things with this. One was that the only difference between me and her, Warren Buffett, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, what's the other, something like that, Rothschilds, and all these elite, wealthy people, as we didn't have the information.
Right.
That's the only difference. Because think about it. They can lose all the money today, but they got the information on how to make some more money to make it back. You ain't had the information in the beginning. So go ahead.
So a lot of us, for real, a lot of people will make a lot of money, great money, making $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year. But when they look back over the years, they still don't have any of it.
Exactly.
They don't have any of it.
None of it.
Because while they were making the money, they when they were making the money, they didn't know what to do with the money that they had to keep it coming in. Because there's so much to work for that money and put that muscle behind that money. But why not take some of that money and let that money start putting its own muscle behind it?
Hey, exactly. That's what I'm talking about when we're going at. So think about this, right? The second thing that I realized with this, a lot of people say that, hey, the only reason why this certain person is wealthy or this person has they're well off or they're good is because they were born into wealth. Found out that's not actually true. The other thing that I found out was, they said, well, I got to do a lot of negative stuff in order for people to. Hold on one moment, y'all. Hey, there's some people. Hey, some people say that. Oh no, you're dirty.
But some people don't realize that you working hard for your money, and you just spending it.
Exactly.
And society wouldn't allow you to do it like that because we live in a capitalistic society. And they say, if you don't understand capitalism, somebody's capitalizing on you.
Exactly.
So either which way you're participating in capitalism, it's just either you're being capitalized upon or you're the one who's capitalizing.
Exactly. So think about it. We're gonna open your eyes up to what's going on. Public information is the stuff that you can read in the newspaper, stuff that you learned ever since you was in school or whatnot like that. And the private information that we're talking about is no longer going to be private because we're going around all over the world and we're talking about these solutions. We're talking about a wealth membership with an awesome business called Make Wealth Real Financial. Now, before we get into the caveat about that, a shout out to my guy, Charles Ivory, for being an awesome mentor, man. He called us in and he gave us an awesome information to help grow more people opportunity to create wealth. Also want to send a shout out, definitely to Dream Team, Miss Othea. Miss Othea, we know that you're calling in right now. We're gonna get back with you ASAP. And the whole team that's out here in the Virgin Islands area. Shout out to Rashawn Bates out there in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. And we got Robert Peets.
It's
Peets.
Robert Peets, correct.
Yeah, Robert Peets. Robert Peets over at the recreation over there, and Mr. Roy, right?
Roy Reed.
Roy Reed, that's over at the actual rec over there in St. John. Shout out to the recreation department over there. Who else was another one?
We had Mr. Dean in St. Croix.
Yeah.
He made us at the American Legion Hall in St. Croix.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Dean Hodges over at the American Legion Post 133. For having a good time out there. And what was the other spot? The other spot was
2+2 restaurant in Christianstead.
Yeah,
Christianstead, St. Croix.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in those spots, go and shout those people out because they were a real big help to us. And then over here in St. Thomas, we're here at Evolution Barn Grill. This is where we're streaming live from right now. Evolution Barn Grill. We'll be here tomorrow at 3 p.m. here at Evolution Barn Grill, giving our final roundup of the Virgin Islands tour of the Make Wealth Real promotion, business launch and promotion here in the Virgin Islands. If you are in the Virgin Islands, or if you know somebody in the Virgin Islands, you need to send them out or you need to come out because this information here will change your life.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, we got something very, very special that we're gonna do. I was talking to Ms. Verna, of course. She like my right hand. Can't say girl. Hey, right hand millionaire, yeah, because that's what's happened. That's what's gonna happen. So we got something very special for everybody that comes out. We're gonna give everybody that comes to an actual view on how much they missing right now that they could be putting back into their household with this actual information we got. But it's an estimate. But if you want to know more about that, hey, come out. And we still around today. We're gonna give people an estimate on how much they could be actually putting back in their actual pockets today, tomorrow, and then if they give it us on a different tip. Yeah. So with that being said, hey, Miss Verna, is any things that you want to cap it off and leave them with and whatnot?
But if you see anybody sharing this opportunity, you need to be in the room. You need to be on that Zoom. You need to be in the room. You need to listen in, because it will change your life. And on our Zoom, I see I have a great business partner. I shout out to him all the time. I don't know if he's available, if you want to say anything to the people, anything that we have to say. Mr. Jason Thomas has always been there for us. And that's what we talk about, community, guys. We talk about community. This ain't just a community. This is a family affair. And we become family, and we're willing to share with each other anything that we've learned that has put us to a better place. So, Mr. Thomas, if you feel like it, if you're in a position to, you can come off, you can say something to the people on the round table. If you want to add to anything that we have said, you're welcome to come in the room. Mr. Thomas.
Yo, JT in the building.
Hey, what's going on? Hold on a second.
Okay.
I think y'all give me every time I'm eating something.
Yo, and we gotta mess with you. We was over here clowning, eating that food, yo.
Hey man, but the information y'all are putting out is life-changing, and I'm so glad that y'all are in the Virgin Islands sharing this information with so many people. And I hope the whole islands community has really gravitated to this information, because yeah, you're right. It's stuff we're not taught in schools. It's information that we definitely got to take advantage of, because at the end of the day, finances, money itself is what makes everything actually go around. I mean, there's nothing that we don't do on a daily basis that affects our finances. So for me, when I got with this company, I uploaded my last 2 pay stubs, my last year's tax return, and the experts got me $200 back into my paycheck. That's $2,400 a month, right? I took that money along with the money they started paying me, and I was able to cash flow over $800 per month with this company immediately within the first 30 days. Now, I don't know about you or anybody else out there in the Virgin Islands, but when you talk about an $800 cash flow into your household from a business within the first 30 days, that's powerful, because that's excess that I didn't have. Brian, Verna, before I joined this company, I had no plan for my financial future. I have 6 kids. My basketball team's a little bigger than yours, or B Woods, but we not counting players. But I didn't have a future for them set up, because I was still living paycheck to paycheck. That's active duty military. I'm active duty military 20 years. But before I got with this company, I had no plan. I did the TSP thing, which is a retirement 401k for military. And that was my plan. But that doesn't do anything for me once I get out the military all the way to age 62, 72 years old. But now with this company, I'm able to put money into an asset, build my growth, and do it at a rate that I never seen possible. And so with the credit score increase, 600s to the 700s, with the private reserve account, making double-digit returns for my money, and now getting to that DCA and the trust fund, I have a plan. And now that plan actually includes the kids because I have enough cash flow that they can be taken care of. And the money that I generate with this income that the opportunity provides, now I can set my family up. Like, I can go buy another asset and allow it to put more cash flow into my household. My goal with this company, and I see it happening, is to get homes built for my kids that brings them additional cash flow. and then give them this business to where they have a place to put that money that they create with it back into it to where that money's constantly making babies. So I'm so thankful for this company. I'm thankful for you all and all the services that y'all continue to provide for the community so that people know that this cash flow system as well as this comp plan exists. So thank y'all. You know, the taxes side, hey, I can't express to y'all enough. Going from a $72,000 paycheck to a $21,000 look from the IRS. What that means is I was able to deduct into allow my everyday expenses deduct over $50,000 from my income to where the IRS can only see and only tax me on $21,000 out of the 72. So that's huge. As soon as I cross over into getting this trust taken care of, they ain't gonna be able to see nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
So there's different levels to this. And as you partner with this company, you'll find yourself growing and expanding your cash flow. So I thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. That's what I said. I love this company and this community because we have all now become family. And sharing this information and sharing this opportunity and what it has done for each of us, it just allows us to be able to see something different and know that it's possible to achieve. Because a lot of times why people don't go after their dreams anymore is because they don't believe it's a possibility. But when you see people doing things and it's being accomplished, now you realize, you know what? I can do that too. Especially when they're telling you how to do it. And that's the difference with us.
There's a whole big difference because you got experts that's actually doing it for you. All you do is upload your documents, and then your check is in the mail, basically.
Basically.
Man.
And I sit down and hear us say a lot of things that people like to say, and there's these cliche quotes like, "Oh, it sounds too good to be true." Say, no, this sounds too good to be true. It's true. It is true. It is true. You know, there's so many things that people say that is cliche, but with MWR Financial, with the Make Wealth Real movement, with Extra Digit movement, the Legacy team, the Dream team, the things that we say, they are real. It's not no cliche. When we talk about it takes a community to raise your kid or for you to get whatever it is, that's the truth. This village is what's allowing all of us to become wealthy because we're sharing opportunities with each other. We're letting each other know, hey, this isn't working. This is what you need to be doing. That doesn't work, and this you need to stop doing and start doing this. And until I gotta run these people that I realize that it's possible. When I hear about eating out, and I could write it off on the king of eating out telling me, yes, do it, because this is what happened when I did it. We do it first. Business write-off, and you don't get it. We're not trying to get you, and when we say this, we're not trying to get you out of into anything. We're trying to get you out of it. They think that we're just saying that, but it's the truth. We are trying to get you out of what you already got, what society has gotten you into before. And because most of society is doing it that way, most people think that it's okay to continue doing it that way. So
all I can say is that I've been able to write off for the past 2 years over $6,000 in just food alone. My thing is, if you're not getting a business like this just to get the tax incentives alone, you don't understand what we got. And our goal today, and what the Dream Team and Power Move 06 team has been trying to share with everybody out there and everybody on social media, is that this is the solution to your financial problems. It solves the 5 Ds: divorce, disaster, disease. debt and death. And there's one more that I'm forgetting about, which is be the sixth one. But you know, when you have a system like this that's proven and they can put you over the edge with your finances like you've never seen before, you got to take a closer look. And then they give you a 30-day money back guarantee.
Correct.
Look, it's time to take action. I got to get on the road. I got an 85th birthday to take care of with my grandpa. And I'm so excited to see him before I leave tomorrow. Not to the Virgin Islands, but I am. So y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for having me. Continue doing what you're doing. Y'all doing great things. Even if nobody said it, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. Continue doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Jason. Thank you. We love you too. Tell your grandpa we said
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Will do.
Okay, so hey y'all, we just had in an awesome guest. Hey, Jason Thomas. We probably couldn't hear him, but we actually got this being live on YouTube. So once we finish and we package it up, hey, you can see his live testimony, man. Hey, Jason Thomas is an awesome guy. He's out of the Fort Cavazos area. I'm telling you right now, remember the name. Follow this guy at the real Jason Thomas. We call him JT Money or Chief T after 3. Hey, he's an awesome guy to work with. He's an actual active duty armed forces officer, and he goes around and he gives a lot of knowledge basically for free. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what, if I was you, I would go back and see a lot of the content that he's putting out, because this guy is well on his way. When he retires from the military, he is not going to have to run himself down the ground, basically stopping the career to get another career, because he's going to be setting himself up. We want to get with a guy like this over in Fort Cavazos, or if you're an officer out there that's watching this right now, because a lot of our people that form lock forces together, a lot of us are armed force, retired, and active duty, and we do have all different type of walks of life for people, all the way from celebrities all the way down to people that they basically custodians at school. But one thing we don't do is this: whenever we have conversation at the round table, it's fair game. We don't frown upon people. The information is what we come together to help create generational wealth for our families, so we don't have to run that rat race of living paycheck to paycheck and not securing everything. So what are some of the things that families we're talking to families about that's going to secure generational wealth?
Oh, yes, we're going to share with you guys the asset building opportunity and the generational protection with a complex trust, guys, because a lot of times we've been taught to put our stuff in wills, and wills are great, guys, but what we have learned here in this community is a will, you will end up in probate. So we want you guys to start protecting what you work so hard for. I heard somebody said that once they pass, they really don't care what happens with what they have, but you work hard for this stuff. So why not make sure that when you worked hard for it, whatever the reason you worked hard for it and work to get it, that it is still in play after you're gone. And the only reason you might think that it don't make no sense to do that is because you don't understand that you can do that. And you can do that with a trust. You can set up the trust to dictate exactly what happens with what you created and what you work hard for to continue to work that way. So if you want to know how you can protect your family's legacy, if you want to understand how you can build wealth, how you can create a lifestyle and leave a legacy at the same time, check in with anybody you hear sharing this message, sharing this opportunity. But tomorrow, if you're here in the U.S. Virgin Islands on St. Thomas, you need to come by Evolution Bar and Grill. It's at 10 Narragansett here in St. Thomas at 3 o'clock, so that you can get this information for yourself 100%. and it won't be watered down once you get it for yourself. So meet us here or beat us here, but be here tomorrow at 3 o'clock, 10 Norigata, Evolution Bar and Grill, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, with the Dream Team and Power Move 06. And now we're signing off, so peace and blessings. And we'll see you on the top because on the bottom is way too crowded.
See you.